Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I did these Milky White Frenchies. If you want to know how I did them, just keep on watching. So starting off, I'm just taking my medium grit cuticle ball and I'm going into that cuticle area, making sure to remove all of that dead skin. You can also just use your cuticle pusher for this part, but I just feel like the cuticle bit just gets in a little bit better and a little bit easier, and it removes more than what my cuticle pusher would do. Once I've done that to all 5 fingers, I'm just going to go ahead and put my drill in the reverse position and go in the opposite direction in that cuticle area, and then I'm going to switch to the other hand. Now once I went in with my cuticle ball on both hands, I'm going to go in with my cuticle nippers and just make sure to nip any of that skin that I was able to lift up with my cuticle ball. And this part is optional depending on your client. Some clients don't have any extra skin. This client did, so I went in and removed that, but I do have clients that don't necessarily need anything clipped from this area. So like I said, it just depends on your client. It's pretty optional. Once I took care of my cuticle area and went ahead and removed any dead skin that was around the nail plate, I'm just going to go in with my hand file and etch that natural nail. And I'm going to end up switching out this file. I needed something that was a little bit rougher. So the whole point of me etching this nail is to, one, remove the shine and oils from the natural nail, but also it's to rough up the natural nail just a little bit, because you do need the nail to be a little bit rough for adhesion. Your nails are not going to stick if the nails are super smooth, so you want to rough it up just a little bit. Not enough to where you're taking off too much of that natural nail, but just enough to give the acrylic something to really grab onto. If you want to do this part with your e-file, that's completely fine. It's just personal preference. As I've said in previous videos, I just don't use the e-file. I prefer to use my hand file so I can kind of gauge how much of that natural nail that I'm taking off. But if you feel more comfortable using your e-file and your zebra bit, then that's completely fine too. So once I'm done etching all 10 nails and placing my tips, these are the EC basket clear coffin tips on Amazon. I've been using these tips for about 2 years now. I really like them. So I'm going to go in and cut them to my client's desired length. I cut the pinky first, and then I kind of measure the main 3 fingers against each other. And then when I'm filing the top, like the tips, I'm measuring them all against each other and making sure that they're all the same length. So you can see here I've squared those nail tips off the way that I want them, and I don't file the sides. The nail tips are pre-shaped, so I just don't see the point. I'm just gonna go in and kind of etch the nail tip and make it like flush with the natural nail. You don't have to do the whole nail tip. It kind of happens because it's a shorter tip, so that's what kind of happened. But I don't file the sides. They're pre-shaped. They're the shape that I want them. Now once I have my tips blended with the natural nail, I'm going to go in with my first coat of my primer, and this is the No Lift Nails primer. You can find this on Amazon. So you do 2 coats of this. I'm doing my first coat and then blend my tips with my other hand, and then once I come back to the other hand, it'll be time for me to lay my second coat of primer right before I lay my acrylic. So now I'm using a Milky White, and I don't have the name of this Milky White. Honestly, I mixed a few colors, and I've had this jar for a very long time, maybe like 3-4 years. I mixed a few different colors, and I don't know exactly what I put in here, but I do know that there is the Solaris White in here, and then probably Solaris Clear. But like I said, I've mixed a few things in here all the time. But I do really like this consistency, so I wish I knew exactly what I put in here. But I do work with drier beads, so it laid pretty dry. So I'm going to go in and then drain out any excess liquid and then go ahead and place my bead. And I noticed that I use more of a patting motion than a swiping motion, although I use both simultaneously. I feel like I pat the acrylic into place more and then go ahead and swipe it to make sure that everything is smooth. And I also make sure I'm using the belly of my brush to really keep the integrity of that shape. It just makes for less work when I'm filing. Now time for my second coat of primer on this right hand. Obviously I know this is her left, but I work from my left to my right, so this is my right. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my second coat of primer and then lay her acrylic on this hand. And you always wait to do your second coat of primer right before laying your acrylic. Now I'm going to go in with my drill and carve out that cuticle area first, and then I use horizontal motions to smooth out and then vertical motions to debulk. So anything that's not even, I'm going to go ahead and do that vertically, and then when I want everything to be smooth, I'm going to go ahead and do that horizontally. Now when I'm swiping my thumb over the nail after drilling, it is kind of to remove the dust from the nail, but it's also mainly to feel the nail and where I might need to go over a couple more times. So if you see me do that a few times over the nail, that's okay. I'm just trying to feel it and see what I need to do. But at the same time, I'm still making sure that I'm looking at the nail from all angles and making sure that it looks good. Now time for filing, and when I'm filing, I do like to use a more dull file just because, one, I don't want it to cut my client, so when I'm getting into those corner areas, I don't want it to cut. And then also, I feel like when you use a coarser file, you're going to get a coarser edge. When you use a smoother file, you're going to get a smoother edge. So I like to use a more dull file just to make sure that everything is super sharp and crisp and clean. And to maintain those super straight edges, you want to make sure that you're holding your file at a 90-degree angle when you're filing the sides. You want to make sure that it's super straight. If you curve it at least a little bit, then you're going to start going in and it's going to become more of a coffin. So make sure that you're keeping your file straight when you're filing your sides. As always, I'm going to file my tips from the front. That's how I make sure that everything is super square and super straight. It just gives me a better look in my opinion, and then also I do like it super sharp because I know over the course of the next few days or few weeks the nails are going to dull out, so that gives me like a more lasting result. Now it's just time to go in with my buffer and make sure that everything is super smooth. So after buffing, I have my client wash their hands, and then when we come back, we focus on design. So we are doing Frenchies, and this is how I decided to do my Frenchies this time. I usually do more of like a almond-y shaped French, but this time I wanted to do it just on the tips, and I don't know, it gave it just a different look, and I really liked how these Frenchies came out. Also, I'm using Snowflake by D&D. That's the white that I usually use. So once I finished her Frenchies, I had her go ahead and cure her hand for 60 seconds. And then I'm going to go in with my Solaris Snow White top coat and just top coat all 10 fingers. And when I get to this thumb, you're going to see me use my cleanup brush. She hit her hand and she didn't even tell me. Shame on you. But so I'm going to go in with my cleanup brush and some acetone and just wipe away anything that kind of got messed up. It actually didn't take off too much of the polish, which I was thankful for. Once I'm done, I'm going to go in and wipe my sides and my top just because I don't want it to be bulky and I want to keep the integrity of my shape after the top coat. And then I'm going to go in with my little cuticle pen and oil her up. And yeah, guys, this is how they turned out, period. I was super pleased with the result. I absolutely love them. But yeah, so thanks for watching. New videos every Monday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave me comments and let me know what you want to see from next. Okay, bye!